All right, someone please help me share the slide. Can everyone see my screen, the slide sharing? Okay, cool. Right, so hi everyone, warm greetings from Abroader Vietnam. My name is Julie and I am the program coordinator at Abroader. And today it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to GoNam 2022. If you are here for the very first time, you might ask, what is GoNam 2022? Well, GoNam means coming to Vietnam, and GoNam 2022 is a very special series of online events that we organize to provide you with local culture immersion and study abroad opportunities in Vietnam. So welcome all of you aboard. Yeah, so in totals, we have 6 flights. And last week, we already finished the first flight to explore Vietnamese language. And I was very glad that Claire and Yume, you were here and enjoyed the session with us. And today's flight, who is this for? So the flight is for the students who are interested in internships related to liberal arts and social science. Some suggested major for this kind of internships are international business, marketing, environment, Asian study, language education, community development, and so on. And now, if you're excited and ready to see our roadmap for today's trip, please give me a thumbs up on Zoom. Okay, awesome. And here we go with our agenda. We will start our journey today with a question. Internship in Vietnam, what is it like? And then we're gonna explore the what and how much for your internship in Vietnam, what opportunities are available and the program fee. And finally, we will see how to best plan your GoNam 2022. If you are unclear about the agenda, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Great. Okay, so for an effective online meeting, please turn on the video if it's convenient and mute yourself unless speaking. If you do have any questions or you want to share anything with us, feel free to unmute yourself and raise your hands or send us messages in the chat box. Okay. And now I would love to kickstart our journey with a brief introduction about Abroader. Yes, so at Abroader, our mission of supporting local community development has become our main drive, our work since established. The main stakeholders of the local community is young Vietnamese students who have limited opportunities to have international exposures. And to do that, we act as the bridge to connect local students with international students by bringing foreign students to Vietnam via our programs such as internships, customized faculty-led, semester exchange, and service learning. And so far, we have been helping more than 1,000 local students to have international experiences through education programs and hosting international students from more than 20 countries in the world. And each intern, when joining our programs, I believe that he or she would have unique experiences. And to help you understand more about internships in Vietnam, I would like to invite you to listen to our intern stories. Next slide, please. Okay, so I would like to introduce Antonio, our alumni remote finance and accounting intern at BNP Group this summer, and Stuart Shreve, our current interns in the field of communication and fundraising at Bong Sen Center for Community Development. So please join me in a big applause to welcome our 2 guest speakers for today's session. Yes, and we cannot get it started without a host. And welcome on stage our host for today's guest speaker talk, Moon Lê.
Yeah, hi again, I'm Moon. And thank you, Julie, for your great introduction. And as you expected, the topic of our talk today will be internship abroad, develop your global career. And now we're gonna have so much fun and deeper understanding about the internship experience in Vietnam by our handsome guest speakers. And let's have a quick check. Give me your heart. if you're excited to start a conversation right away. Fantastic. A plenty of hearts here. That's amazing. And I'm so happy that you're interested in this topic. Thank you. And yeah, no let me wait anymore. Stuart and Oni, it's lovely to have you guys here today. How are you doing? Can you unmute and say hi to our participants?
I'll go first. Lucky enough to be
please.
first. So hello, everyone. My name is Antonio Finster. I go by Oni. I am a senior business and international relations student at St. Michael's College in Colchester, Vermont. I was placed in this internship through a broader with VNP, and I'll share more about that going forward. And they are an e-commerce and venture capital group. Very excited to be here with you guys tonight.
Yeah, that's lovely. How are you, Stuart? Could you give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm honored to be here. My name is Stuart Shreve. I am a student from Florida International University, so proud to represent them on a scale like this. My major is hospitality management with a particular interest in travel and tourism. That's really what drove me to seeking international experience. But obviously, like Oni said, we'll get into more of that where we can kind of expand on our more broad interests. And I was a communications and fundraising intern. So where I was seeking funding and really just expanding my NGO's reach as far as their voice.
That's lovely. Thank you for your introductions. And again, everyone, just a heads up. If you have any question during the talk with our guest speakers, feel free to unmute yourself to ask. Or if you're shy, you can drop me your question in the chat box as below. I'll make sure your question will be answered, okay? All right. And an internship abroad, whether in person or remotely, would provide a wealth of learning opportunities for each individual. And I bet that the viewers are very excited to learn about your experiences. So are you ready to spill the juicy details? Stuart and Oni?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess I can take this one first if you want, since you took the last one.
Okay. Yeah,
so
let's go back in time to the beginning of your internship. So Stuart, how did your first week go?
It was definitely a learning process. I remember that a broader was very helpful with me as far as assimilating to the culture, that change it was going to be. Because as I would say native Floridian and a native American, I have never traveled international. I have generic international experience as far as, just having a very cursory knowledge of all things international. The older I've gotten, the more I've wanted to kind of broaden my horizons, for lack of a better term, right? So a broader was very helpful to me in kind of preparing me what this is going to look like. Obviously, there may be a little bit of a language barrier. Obviously the time zone difference is going to be a thing. But so it was very much a assimilation. I had to integrate myself. I had to learn, okay, what time is the best time to reach out to my supervisor? When am I going to be reached out to, right? When are they going to communicate with me? Learning about the typical business conversations or the typical work conversations. So it was very much a learning process, how they work and how they act in the workplace. So kind of multifaceted.
Lovely. So what I picked up from what you have just shared is like about the language barrier and the time zone at the beginning. And I agree with you that communication is key, especially when you work in a cross-culture environment, like communicating with your colleagues and the locals in Vietnam. And how about you, Oni? Like, how did you prepare for your internship?
I would say much of the same. And then in the first week, it was really sort of a mixture of, new and exciting opportunities, but also very anxiety inducing. I mean, you are putting yourself into an environment that you've never been before. But it's more about taking it in stride and embracing it as a new learning opportunity rather than shying away from it. Once I sort of doubled into the first week of work in my placement, I fell in love with it. So it was really about overcoming that first little hurdle, and then everything sorted itself out towards the end. You find yourself getting into a groove, as a lot of the interns had put it. So definitely the first week is a new and exciting opportunity with a lot of uncertainty, but it's what you really make of it.
Yeah, okay, understand. So how did you prepare for your internship? Yeah, to adapt with all the hurdles that you have just mentioned.
So to
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Claire's point really quickly, I was virtually placed because this placement process happened during the summer in between waves of COVID. And then Moon, to your question, a broader helped a lot in the preparation process. There was a sort of online portal that we would upload all of our materials, and we would check in, if there was any sort of paperwork that was required to get placed. It was all in the portal to figure that out. Another important aspect was keeping our resumes up to date and with relevant working experience, and identifying your interests. It's not necessarily like your high school resume where you say I was involved in 5 or 6 different clubs and I was involved in athletics. It's really sort of getting to what are your professional interests and where do you want to take this experience going down the road a couple of years. And a broader is very open to helping you in sort of structuring your resume to that end.
Yeah, thank you, Oni, for your sharing about the resume and also the preparation for your internship. And I know that Stuart want to share something, right?
Yes, I just wanted to add on to that because I think Oni brought up something very important about the uncertainty aspect of it during the first week. I think that is something I think that we subconsciously really signed up for. I signed up for the uncertainty, right? Because like I said, I've been so used to the certainty of life for so long and for the certainty of the same, process, but the uncertainty of what international life is going to be like, that's what I signed up for. So for everybody here, it's a process, but I would say do it because that's what you sign up for. So would I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. 100 out of 100 times? Yes. So the uncertainty, look forward to it because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. I guess that it's sort of like a fascinating lesson learned for all of us here, even for us as a coordinator at the border. Yeah, awesome. And I also got a question like from our audience that what do you find most challenging about remote internship?
Start. The most challenging aspect with the remote internship, I feel, is that getting a sense of the working culture, and we sound like a broken record saying it, but the time zone is something that you have to adjust to. Anecdotally, I had a conversation with my supervisor and I said, okay, what time are we meeting? I'd like to accommodate, Vietnamese time. And he said, okay, we'll meet on Thursday. And, I signed off of the Zoom, and then I sat there for the next hour thinking, is it Thursday, his Friday? Is it his Thursday, my Wednesday? And I was like, what's going on? Like, how are we doing this? And so you'll find yourself asking these sorts of questions multiple times. But it's a very good way of sort of building those initial steps of cultural competency and understanding that is something you have to navigate if you're placed remotely. And, with the internet, the world is getting a lot smaller in that sense. And so this will be a question that you're asked more and more often, is being able to navigate different time zones and being able to start building that network, even in those sort of challenges.
Yeah, awesome, Oni. And sort of like, so what kind of tool do you use to navigate about the time zone or any tips?
I was fortunate enough that my phone can have different clocks going for different time zones just right in the clock app. So I did a clock for Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City and put it in my clock so that I would never forget. Really, really easy to just check it. And then once I remembered the time zone difference was 11 hours ahead, it was very, very simple to just mentally do the math and say, okay, if he wants to meet at 10 o'clock, then I need to meet at this time in my time zone.
Yeah, that's a good tip. And for me, like as Oni, as a guest speaker, I also really appreciate for your double checking with me before the session, since I did mention the wrong day. And yeah, that's why yeah, apart from what you have just shared, I think that double check to make sure that you guys are on the same page. Also, another tip for you. Yeah. And Stuart, as I know that you are working in an NGO named Bongshan, which is a woman-led organization. So do you have any memorable moments you like to mention?
Memorable moments for that. I feel like I have so many that I could, but if I had to pick one, yeah, I think the moment that I realized, and it just happened, I think the last English session that I was teaching, because one of my responsibilities that I will say kind of a pleasant surprise of this internship, I came into this internship, I guess I'll go backwards a little bit for this for this answer. When I came into this internship program, I had a really strong interest in sustainability, and I still really do. It's a passion of mine. So that was the thing that I would just kept pushing people on, and to please match me with sustainability. I really want to do something with sustainability, right? And of course, the programs have their limitations because there's a lot of people that need help and they need the manpower and the resources. And obviously, Broader does a fantastic job with pairing skills and tool sets and personality with the organizations that obviously need use for specific people, or like I said, these skill sets and things and such. So when I came into Bongsen, they asked me if I would take time out of my week to teach English to help with the competency of the staff members. And that was something that I had no idea that I was going to be approached to do. I had never taught before, so that's very new for me. So I was kind of coming up with these lessons on my own. So it was very much a learning experience for me as it was for the ladies being taught by me, right? So just the fact that they wanted me to continue meant that I was doing something right. I was making a difference. And I always kind of made it a point to teach more so a life lesson in the English, kind of hidden in the English lessons more than just English, because I think that a life lesson can kind of be communicated through a language barrier, right? You can just kind of get through to somebody, then you can get through. So my supervisor, the last time that we were meeting, she basically admitted to me that during our sessions, she's never really been open and kind of shared as much personal information as she has with another male, which for me, now that I've done more research into Vietnam and I kind of see the inequality in social aspects of Vietnam, doing more research, right? Kind of the sun preference and certain things that are actually active in Vietnam, it kind of just hits you like, wow, this, I'm just an intern, or that's how I thought I was, just an intern, but they really make you feel like you matter in the organization, because I do. So just to hear that, she's sharing sensitive information with me, on top of more so the tradition and the certain cultural things that people tend to hold back, it just kind of really hit me that really matters more than any physical work that I can do as far as a paper or any research that I can do. So you know what, that's kind of just really made the experience for me.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear that. So This is sort of like your favorite task that you have done so far with Bongshan team?
Yeah, I would say the English lessons were definitely my favorite, getting to prepare them and also asking them what they want to learn because I got to tailor the lessons for them based on certain subjects that they were interested in learning. So, and then also my proposal that I'm working on for them. But the English lessons were definitely an unexpected surprise.
Yeah, unexpected surprise that, yeah, we find out along the way when we take the internship. Yeah,
Definitely.
fantastic. Hmm. Okay. And for Oni, I know that you have just finished your summer internship. So how do you think of the most interesting task that you have done?
I would say the most interesting task that I had done much similarly to Stuart was one that I was never felt that I was expected to do. So at VNP, I was tasked with coming up with a set of valuation tools to help get a dollar value of all of the different projects that they were working on. And in coming up with these models, my supervisor said, "Hey, here's some financial data from one of our projects. We have a meeting on Friday. I need this value. Can you get it for me?" And I was able to apply not only what I had learned in the internship, but also in my own academic studies to be able to put that data into a financial model and be able to get the expected and desired amount that he was looking for. And so that was probably the most memorable thing that I did on top of everything else, just because I got to apply what I learned in a very real sense and be able to be tasked with that extra responsibility, not solely because I knew how to do it, but because that trust that I was going to be able to get it done was there.
Fantastic about your job. Claire, as I know that your major is world languages. So is there any field of internship that you interested in?
Yeah, I'm interested in teaching English in Asia. I plan on doing it in Japan after I graduate, but I think it'd be good to, I already been to Japan and lived there before, so I think it would be good to expand to other countries as well. So that's why I'd like to learn more about Vietnam.
That's awesome. So I guess that what Stuart have shared that sort of like inspire you more to take with that role?
Well, I think I've always been interested in learning languages, and it's what I enjoy doing. So I thought it'd be good to share that with others. And since I speak English, I'd be happy to share my language. And also, I like living in other countries, so I can pick up other cultures and languages and learn more about them too.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad that you here with us today as well. After the first session about Vietnamese language.
Thank you.
And yeah, and feel free to ask our guest speakers if you have any questions. All right. And as Julie mentioned, we work towards local community development. So Vietnamese youth culture, youth are one of our stakeholders. So what are some of things that you have learned about the local culture in Vietnam when you join our culture sessions?
I'll go ahead and answer this one,
Yeah,
if that's okay. I think the one thing that I've learned is it became so apparent when I was teaching. I would say the youth, and it extends all the way up to even mature kind of adults in Vietnam. Is I would say that it's such a respectful culture. But I think more so that was demonstrated to me when it is a teacher-student relation, or I should say, how do I say, a dynamic, a teacher-student dynamic, because as I was facilitating these lessons, there was a point and obviously this is heavily to do with culture. You know, I as a teacher, I think everybody's main goal is to foster some sort of participation with, you know, you ask a question, you know, and you should want obviously some responses, because we all want to have our students, you know, be participating and feel like it's a fun lesson and to feel like they're getting something out of it. But what I came across early on, which definitely took some getting used to, was the fact that a lot of the times when I would ask a question, I wouldn't get some answers. So there was a time sometimes where I have to sit and think, like, am I doing something wrong? Do they not find the material entertaining, or do they not find it appealing, or is there nothing useful for this information? And slowly but surely, I kind of started asking questions and, you know, calling on, you know, students and singling them out. And then it came to find out that that's just very much how that students are taught to be very respectful and to, you know, wait until they're chosen for an answer and things like that. So, you know, very respectful culture. The youth is very respectful. They're very eager to learn things, and, you know, don't let the language barrier fool you. Very intelligent, and, you know, to be honest, there was many times when the language barrier was very, I would say, very minuscule of a problem. You know, where we're having perfect conversations, and, you know, there are certain things that slip through the cracks, but for the most part, you know, they would pick up everything. But I would say very respectful culture. That was the one thing that really took some getting used to, was just the respectfulness and kind of the inclusiveness, and they really make you feel included and part of the team and encourage you. And so, Oni, correct me if I'm wrong, but you did work in Vietnam as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, my supervisor, I can't tell you how many times she had to kind of correct me, where I would kind of think of things as I'm doing work for Bong Sen, and she'd say, no, you are part of Bong Sen. Think of yourself as part of the team. You know, you are a team member. So there was times where I'd have to, like, correct myself.
Definitely,
Okay, so,
definitely.
Yeah, please go ahead, Oni.
Um, to Stuart's point, your placement really makes you feel at home. At least that's what I experienced. There would be times where our meeting would end, and then I would exchanging pleasantries with my super and talk about, oh, you know, I'm scheduled to get my haircut today, and I'd be like, oh, that's really good for you. Like, just sharing just like about our daily lives and everything. Over the summer is when I have an internship. So for the US, we had 4th of July come up. So it was an opportunity to share about my Independence Day that our country celebrates, and then sort of discuss a little more about what Vietnamese Independence Day is like, and are there similarities, are there differences? So just nice little opportunities to share and get to know people in a way that you wouldn't expect out of an internship. You know, as a American, we tend to think of internships, and this is something that I came into the internship with, was that I was going to be a busy work, coffee fetching, fax machine operating, just college student. And what I got out of it was a lot more than that. So really, they make you feel as a part of the team and that you're doing actual, like, really important work instead of just you know, another body in the machine.
That's lovely. And yeah, thank you, Oni and Stuart, for your sharing. And what I pick up is like respect the culture, be open, be flexible, to learn, right? And to exchange with the local people here. And yeah, thank you, Julie, as well, for sharing that. Stuart also love to like cook together with us in the cooking session, right? Yeah, fantastic. And now I have heard that you guys have been through lots of things, the good, the bad, the fun, and the difficulties. So can you mention one challenge that you faced and how you overcame it during your remote internship? I think with this question, yeah, Stuart can share with us.
I think the biggest challenge for me was, because I'm not physically in Vietnam, doing the work. I think just the accountability, right? Holding myself accountable in the sense of, okay, today you're going to sit at your computer and you're going to put in 5 hours of work or 6 hours of research, or keeping yourself accountable. So there were times where, of course, you fall off a little bit, or you find it a little bit harder to maintain focus because you're not necessarily in the environment 24/7. So it can be hard to stay accountable. But I think, with the use of, certain technologies, and the one tool that I used a lot was alarms. I set so many alarms for myself, either every 5 hours sometimes, or every 8 hours or something, just to have something kind of going off in the background where if I got complacent for too long, there would be some sort of, outside interference or something that could kind of, snap me out of, I would say a daze or something, if I kind of get caught in the lull of the day passing by or something. So I would say definitely kind of holding yourself accountable with the long distance. It's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. So I would say.
Yeah, yeah, a challenge could be a lesson learned. And what I think that even in person or remotely, we also have to be like response for what we done, is what I can see and can feel from Stuart and Oni. Hmm. And Oni, I know that you how do you think this remote internship has changed you? And how do you think it would be benefit your future career? As I know that you also have just finished your summer internship. Yeah.
So the most important thing I feel is that it has enhanced my ability to communicate with people, especially of different backgrounds. With my own personal career choice of wanting to work internationally, it's invaluable that I've gained this skill and sort of developed it, and will be continuing to develop it as I go on in my career. But just the being able to communicate in sort of new ways in our internet age, and just being able to overcome those communication barriers and still be able to do your work in a timely and professional manner, given all of those circumstances, definitely is a major key in this, the skill development that you're able to do. And then to the specific career dimension, it really allows you to apply real life skills that you'll be able to take into your career. And it serves as not necessarily a foundation, but it is definitely another piece of your toolkit that you can bring to extra jobs that you work after your internship.
Yeah, a piece of toolkit that you can pick up for your professional career path. Yeah, fantastic. So that made me remind me one saying that I hear a lot, like every experience is a positive experience if you view it as an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. And yeah, so now when looking back at your internship as an experience, so how do you think you have grown after having that experience, Stuart?
So much. I would definitely say that definitely this internship has expanded on, I would say, everything that I kind of assumed that I had a natural knack for, whether it was just kind of, always being the person that, would lend an ear to somebody if they were stressed out, or, just always being somebody that wants to have a conversation, or just, feeling comfortable and, confident around people. And I think that this kind of gave me a way to manifest kind of everything that I thought I was kind of like my personality habits really kind of gave me a way to crystallize that. And so, for example, every Friday we have our weekly meetings. So, when week 1 came around and my supervisor and I and the team were laying out the groundwork for the plan and how the weeks were going to look, I knew right from the beginning, okay, I was going to be leading these team meetings. It wasn't going to be my supervisor was going to lead me through them and I was going to just throw in a couple of ideas here or there. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be my supervisor leading the meetings, and then there was going to be about 5 minutes or so where I would contribute my little say and kind of give my spiel about what I was working on. I found out very soon that it was going to be me leading the meetings and, beginning it with, or, taking it the whole way through with what I've been doing the whole week. So it definitely gave me a real world experience to lead a meeting, to, I don't want to say manage, because I really wasn't managing people, but, in a sense, like I said, was with the English lessons and kind of facilitating these meetings in some form or fashion. So, definitely like Oni mentioned about, communication skills and kind of taking that to the next level with an international mix of, so it's definitely, and I will say one thing that I would like to just mention is, what I think that this experience really kind of lended itself to was really helping us be on top of our game all of the time, because not only did we have to be always working and kind of fulfilling our roles, but we had to be very conscious of, again, bringing up the time zones, right? So whatever we were doing with our tasks, it could be 9 a.m. for us, but on the other side of the world in Vietnam, it's 9 p.m. or it's 10 p.m. So not only do we have to be as Americans kind of, we're just waking up and starting our day, you guys have already finished your day at work and you've already kind of wound down, and who knows what your day is like. So we have to be kind of, at least I was always conscious, I'm sure Oni was too, always conscious of, well, maybe what was their day like, or here I am carrying out an English lesson at 9 a.m. for me, but 9 p.m. for them. So I have to be on top of my game with my communication and with my lesson, and just kind of managing all of these thoughts and such kind of gives me a really good idea of almost another level of my game that I wasn't even on before, because I didn't even know I had these things to think about, when dealing with other people in the workplace. So it's invaluable.
Yeah, it's really insightful, Stuart. And I know that this is your last week at Gongchen too. It might be emotional. And do you have any tips to share with the upcoming interns? Like what should be prepared before deciding to study abroad? Like the skills, knowledge, and attitude?
I would say that, as odd as this may sound, anybody who really knows who they are deep down, you know who you are, you know kind of what your skills are, and you know the kind of person that you are. You stay true to yourself, and you just come to that process honestly, and then a broader will take care of the rest, and they will match you with an organization that matches you perfectly. That's what they did. That's what you guys did for me. That's what you did for me. And again, I don't have the sustainability internship, but I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I have the perfect organization, the perfect match. And that's interesting saying that it's all women. If you would have asked me years ago, could you imagine yourself working for an international and, non-governmental organization that was run by all women? What were the odds of that happening, 5 years ago? But here we are now. So I would say just be honest with yourself, and the sooner you start doing that, the sooner you'll start succeeding in life. I really can't help but be philosophical. So I just want to just say that, just come open and honest, and you will learn so much really about yourself by getting to know other people across the world.
It touched me, like from your experience. And so what do we have today? All right, Oni, how about you? If you could choose three words to describe your internship experience, what would they be and why?
You're asking me to summarize my whole summer into 3 words. That's very challenging. I would say challenging, enjoyable,
Mhm.
and this will be a phrase, but I hope you'll be able to just count it as one word.
Okay.
In a lifetime. I truly feel that this is the type of experience that if you are given the opportunity to do it, you take it with both arms and you grasp at it, don't let it go. Because this is a type of experience that not many people will get to have in their lifetime. The ability to go abroad in the first place, let alone to be a student going abroad and, you know, having an infrastructure around you, a network of people, both professionally and a broader, but also your own institutions, your family, your friends, all supporting you in going somewhere new and learning something new and really investing in yourself and taking this step. So I would definitely say those are the 3 words that best summarize this experience.
Have the right experience. Yeah, thank you for your sharing. And now is the Q&A session. And I also got one question from our team, send me this from our social media. So, okay, it's quite a lot here. I will pick one. And so if you find it hard to communicate during the internship, what kind of support can you reach out to?
Stuart, you can obviously add on to this answer, but I'll take the reins on this one for right now. There were several different channels that you could use that were very accessible, to say the least. You could obviously reach out to your supervisor. There was a sort of a placement supervisor that worked with us and was really sort of the middle person between ourselves and our placement. And obviously, we had 1 or 2 people, or rather a network of people at a broader that you would be able to reach out to. The only thing I want to say about that is that you had to make the initiative on your own. And that's something that's very important. Myself being a people pleaser, I think that reaching out for help is a burden, but that is quite the opposite. It is quite the opposite. We have one sort of set in stone check-in within the first 2 weeks, just to see, hey, how you doing? How are you adjusting? Is there anything we can help with? But then after that, you are sort of given ownership of the experience. And so having that self-awareness to ask for help and using the resources that are given to you, because it's not like they're taken away. They are there ready to be used. You just have to use them.
Yeah, very detailed from your, so I hope that it would be clarifying your concern. So one last question for you all. And what would it be? So what advice would you give for a fresh intern in a cross-cultural environment like Vietnam, Stuart?
What advice would I give for a fresh intern?
Yes, a
A
fresh
new
intern.
I'd say just don't be afraid. I've I've thought about this long and hard, and I feel that it's the American, maybe perspective, or maybe it's my own perspective that maybe perfectionism kind of can ruin things, with my own maybe work philosophy or certain things. You know, I feel like the fact that if any individual or any intern, you're already willing, the thought is already in your head to work abroad and to work with a broader, or to work with, understanding the fact that you will be working with an organization, if it is in a rural community, if it is in an isolated location, understanding, what you're getting into, the fact that you already have that thought in your head and you're already kind of understanding that space of what you're going to be kind of entering into, I feel like it's already a win for you. So don't beat yourself up over it. Just understand that you're already ahead of the game in the sense that you're willing to give and you're not necessarily just looking to receive a handout or a pat on the back for doing an internship. And I don't think anybody here, and I think the reason why people enjoy abroad, and more so just international internships like the ones that we do, is because we don't look at it from the sense of, oh my gosh, look at what I did. I interned in Vietnam. No, it has nothing to do with that. We're here because we want to help and we wanted something that would be more meaningful than, for me, because I'm hospitality, working in a hotel and standing at the front desk. Or maybe for you, Oni, for working in just a general, maybe like a firm or just, crunching numbers in a generic fashion. Where we wanted something that had some passion behind it and was going to a real problem where we can kind of say that we made a difference, for our lives, but also the lives of other people. So, like I said, the fact that you're already willing to give and not just receive you're already setting yourself so far apart. So just give yourself some credit for that.
Yeah, fantastic, Stuart, for your sharing. And that's it. That's the last question we have for you guys on this talk. And let's give all of us a round of applause. And all right, on behalf of everyone here, I would love to send our deepest appreciation for your presence and sharing your experiences and knowledge, which really inspire not only the students, but also for me when working in this industry, and boost their confidence to study abroad. And everyone, if you have any questions left, feel free to send them to us abroad. We will collect all your questions and send them to Oni and Stuart. And once again, thank you for joining us today. And yeah, I will head back to our main host, Julie.
Yes, thank you very much, Moon, Oni, and Stuart, for a very engaging and very informative sharing. Yes, and I'm gonna go back with the last two main parts that we need to finish. All right. So, like finance and accounting or communication as fundraising are just one of the opportunities for internships in Vietnam. And definitely there are many more opportunities. And let me walk you through this. And as you can see on the screen, the internship fields for the degree liberal arts and social science. We also have internships in the field of medical and healthcare, engineering, and IT, but those areas will be mentioned in more details in upcoming events. So with these fields, I would like to give you a sense of some tentative roles that you can take in the next slide. Yes, for example, if you are interested in education, so some tentative role you can take like English teacher, teaching assistant, or teaching and program assistant. And some other areas like agriculture and social work and community and environment. I already put some kind of available positions here that you can take a look. And also in the chat box, you can check with our website. There will be more details about the available positions and the task details for you to consider. Yep. Yeah, please move on to the next slide. And I know that when you prepare for an internship, you also have a questions in mind about how to finance your internship. So for both remote and in-person internship, the placement fee is 700 USD. And for remote programs, we offer full program fee at 990 USD. And for in-person programs in Vietnam, if you go for an 8 weeks with full service, it will be tentatively 3,410 USD. And for 12 weeks, it's gonna be 4,125 USD. And that will always be subjected to change based on the time that you apply. But you can always visit our website, dates and fee, to check with the updates about the program fee for your internship. Yes, so you may wonder, so in that fee, what would be included? Like Oni or Stuart share, a border will take care of everything. So we do everything that concerns you when you live here. But if you do want to view more details about what we include in this program fee, you can definitely check out what Sophie, my colleague, just put in the chat box. Great. Someone please move on to the next slide. Yeah, and now for the last part of today's sessions, Plan to Go Nam 2022. I would really love to update you about the COVID-19 situations in Vietnam. And for now, the rate of vaccinations in two biggest cities in Vietnam, which is Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, is, as I mentioned in the table here. In Ho Chi Minh City, 79% of people in Ho Chi Minh City got vaccinated. And in Hanoi, the capital, 62.9% already got vaccinated. And as the number I got from the government, we plan that till the end of this year, we're gonna got vaccinations for the people from 12 to 17 years old. And hopefully we're gonna get 95% of the people get vaccinated. And luckily, we already have the direct flight from the US to Vietnam. So I hope that if you do plan for your trip to Vietnam next year, it's gonna be much more convenient. And from the government, we plan to fully open the border in June 2022. So how did this information gonna affect how you can plan for your trip next year? This is our suggest for you that in the general intake, you can go for remote internships, and it's the most suitable time to come here physically, which is June 2022 for an in-person internships. And if you already take the general intake for the remote internship, and then you do want to continue with an in-person internship in Vietnam in the summer, then this is what you can support you with 500 USD fee waiver when you apply for an in-person internship in the next summer. Yes, so I hope that these informations can help you better plan your internship, but you know changes happen quite often. So please stay connected with us via emails or iMessage or WhatsApp. And more importantly, we are very happy that we can talk to you one-on-one. So there will be a link in the chat box. You can book with us the one-on-one call via calendar. Okay, so far, do you have any questions before I move on to the next part for the wrap up and reminder? Okay, I see somebody's shakes head, so it's mean a no for now, but the chat box is still here. Any questions you can leave, you can let us know. Yeah. Okay, so now let's do a quick wrap up and the reminder for the upcoming weeks. Yes, so next week is another culture immersion sessions where we're gonna do sessions about Vietnamese cuisine. And this session is special because it will be a live cooking sessions where you can go and see me. Actually, I will do the cooking part and also have a chit chat with the local people about many aspects of the cuisine cultures in Vietnam, including the table manners and the eating habits of Vietnamese people. So please save the date and time. Yes, and to get the reminders of the upcoming sessions, we also encourage you to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram to get the reminder of the events in the upcoming weeks. Yeah, and I hope that you still remember these expressions from the very first culture sessions about Vietnamese language. Cảm ơn bạn và hẹn gặp lại. Thank you and see you soon in the next sessions. Yes, I really appreciate that today we have participants from the US, from Japan to join us. So please have a good rest of your day for Stuart, Gian, and Claire, and also Oni. And thank you again for your presence in today's sessions. And have a good day to all my colleagues from Vietnam, and have a good day for Yume from Japan. Yes, I really appreciate your participations for today's sessions. And looking forward to see you in the upcoming sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so
And
much.
see you
Have a
soon.
great rest of your day and good evenings for everyone else.
Yes. Goodbye,
you so
Claire.
much.
Having
Yeah. Thank you, Gian. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes. See you.